9 facts about heaven that will surprise you. Number 1. We won't miss our old lives. The upgrade from earth to heaven will be vastly superior to that from economy to first class. If we would miss something from our old lives, it would be available to us in heaven. Why? Because we will experience all God intends for us. He fashions us to want precisely what He will give us, so what He gives us will be exactly what we want. Number 2. We won't become angels. Death is a relocation of the same person from one place to another. The place changes, but the person remains the same. The same person who becomes absent from his or her body becomes present with the Lord. 2 Corinthians 5:8. We won't be angels, but we'll be with them. Number 3. We won't be tempted. We'll never forget the ugliness of sin. Having known death and life, we who experience life will never want to go back to death. We'll never be deceived into thinking God is withholding something good from us, or that sin is in our best interests. Number 4. We will have work to do. The idea of working in heaven is foreign to many people. Yet Scripture clearly teaches it. When God created Adam, He took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. Genesis 2:15. Work was part of the original Eden. It was part of a perfect human life. Number 5. We will still experience emotions. In Scripture, God is said to enjoy, love, laugh, take delight, and rejoice, as well as be angry, happy, jealous, and glad. To be like God means to have and express emotions. Hence, we should expect that in heaven emotions will exist for God's glory and our good. Number 6. We still won't know everything. In heaven we'll be flawless, but not knowing everything isn't a flaw. It's part of being finite. Righteous angels don't know everything, and they long to know more. 1 Peter 1:12. They're flawless, but finite. We should expect to long for greater knowledge, as angels do, and we'll spend eternity gaining the greater knowledge we'll seek. Number 7. We will recognize one another. Scripture gives no indication of a memory wipe causing us not to recognize family and friends. Paul anticipated being with the Thessalonians in heaven, and it never occurred to him he wouldn't know them. In fact, if we wouldn't know our loved ones, the comfort of an afterlife reunion, taught in 1 Thessalonians 4:14-18, would be no comfort at all. In heaven, we probably won't fail to recognize an acquaintance in a crowd or forget people's names. Number 8. What will we do to avoid boredom? Note the assumption. Sin is exciting and righteousness is boring. Believing in this assumption means you've fallen for the devil's lie. In reality, sin robs us of fulfillment. Sin doesn't make life interesting, it makes life empty. When there's fulfillment, when there's beauty, when we see God as He truly is, an endless reservoir of fascination, boredom becomes impossible. In heaven we'll be filled, as Psalm 16:11 describes it, with joy and eternal pleasures. Number 9. If our loved ones are in hell, won't that spoil heaven? In heaven we'll see clearly that God revealed Himself to each person, and that He gave opportunity for each heart or conscience to seek and respond to Him. Romans 1:18-2:16. Everyone deserves hell. No one deserves heaven. Jesus went to the cross to offer salvation to all. 1 John 2:2. God is absolutely sovereign and doesn't desire any to perish. 1 Timothy 2:3-4, 2 Peter 3:9. Yet many will perish in their unbelief. Matthew 7:13. In heaven we'll embrace God's holiness and justice. God will be our source of joy. Hell's small and distant shadow will not interfere with God's greatness or our joy in Him. All of this should motivate us to share the gospel of Christ with family, friends, neighbors in the whole world.